David, so nice to have you back with us, pal.
Hey, Leigh, thanks for having me back on.
Oh, that's such a pleasure, mate. Yeah, the line's a little bit woofy out your way there. Can you speak a little bit closer to it?
Oh, is it? Sorry, I'm actually in transit on the way to Sales. We're doing something down there tonight.
Down at Cows, are you?
No, Sales?
Oh, it's Sale. Oh, I thought you said Cows.
Down at Gippsland Way.
Oh, that's a heck of a ride, isn't it?
It's a heck of a ride. We've done Warrnambool, Sales, so we're in the middle of the tour at the moment.
You get yourself around, don't you?
Well, yeah, you do. I mean, last weekend I was in Queensland with the opera company up there, so yes, I'm kind of all over the shop.
Yeah.
The truth. Yeah.
You're one of those guys who's been ever so busy, haven't you, in those very early days, being picked up there by Victorian State Opera, and things just took off for you, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had no intention of being an opera singer, but they coerced me into singing opera, and I guess I felt as I was an accidental tourist in the opera world, but yes. I'm kind of still there, but I'm still doing my own thing as well. But yeah, happily ended up singing opera. Yeah, it was Ken McKenzie-Forbes, who was the general manager of the opera company back then, saw something in me that I wasn't aware of.
Ken's a great guy, and he's got a great eye for talent.
He does. He really, I mean, he is now he runs the production company, Jenny Little's production company, which does 3 productions every year, and they try to do things that aren't usually done, and sometimes uncover talent that hasn't been seen before. So, and Ken's been doing that for years. So he's got a wealth of knowledge in opera, musical theatre, and yeah, as you're right, just talent generally.
They've got Hello Dolly coming up this month. That'll be interesting to see.
Be fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yep, actually, I've just been we're doing Hello Dolly, yes, with my good buddy Marina. Actually, Marina and I have just been touring as well. We were in New South Wales doing a tour together called the Tour, so we were having a great fun. But she'll be a fantastic Dolly, and she's doing it with her husband Grant Pirro.
I noticed that,
great
yeah.
Performer. Yeah.
No, she's a lovely lady. Doesn't do enough on stage these days. We really need her to come back, don't we?
Yep. No, she's terrific. She's terrific. Very easy.
When you were picked up by the Victorian State Opera way back in those very early days, you had no basic training then. Did you go on and have training after that, David?
Yes. Well, I guess. Look, the first thing I did was to go over to Italy and study Italian, because most operas, or the mainstay of the operatic repertoire is in Italian, so I thought the best thing to do would be learn Italian. And Joan Sullivan and Richard Bonning kindly gave me a scholarship to go away and study. So that was really the initial thing I did, and tried to learn out how to sing, because I was just singing quite naturally. So it was a bit of a steep learning curve, but that's basically how I did it.
You were probably in your 20s by that stage, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as a 20-year-old or in your 20s, how hard is that then to develop the diaphragm and all the things you've got to do to be an opera singer?
Well, I guess because I sang naturally, I was pretty athletic anyway. I was doing it correctly.
Yes.
And in some respects, it was about trying to, enhance what I was already doing naturally. Because the thing about singing opera is you have to, fill a 2,000-seat theatre and sing over 60 or 80 guys hunking and soaring in the orchestra pit.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to work out how to get the air to make the chords vibrate to fill a big theatre. So and to do it for a sustained period of time.
And that's the technique, isn't it?
That's the key, because you can probably go out and sing 1 or 2 songs, but to be able to do it for 3 hours on end, that's the trick, that's the technique. Yes,
look, I admire opera singers. I just don't know how you guys do it. I really don't. And you need those little breaks as they come up, because some of the 3-hour operas got about 2 20-minute breaks, and you need that, don't you, to recover?
Well, I liken it to, running a marathon. You can't do one every day.
No.
If you're doing an opera. That's why we only do 2 or 3 a week, depending on the size of the role, because the body gets tired and therefore the throat gets tired.
David, how different is it? Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, with a musical theatre, you do have the advantage of having microphones these days.
Yes. Well, I was going to say to you along those lines there, how different is it when you did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang compared to doing La Boheme?
Well, look, the energy required to sing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is just as great in many respects. You have to, because it's so physical. There's the dancing, there's the dialogue, plus the singing. But the difference is that when you have to sing opera, you have to just get the voice to be pristine and crystal clear, and to be able to make it buoyant, as I say, to fill a whole theatre. Whereas music theatre, you're still using a lot of energy, but you can rely on the microphone to help you a little bit.
Yes.
And, of course, the extension of the vocal range is not as great in music theatre generally as it is in opera. So that's kind of the difference. But having said that, musical theatre, which I love just as much as opera, requires different skills and probably requires more teamwork, because in opera, a lot of the work is done for you by the music that is there underneath you, the orchestration, and the orchestra is telling a lot of the story. Whereas in music theatre, the music is a bit lighter and you need to tell a story with more energy on top of the music, which is not, I don't know if that's making sense or not.
Yeah, it does.
Your relationship with the other characters, the dialogue. Whereas in the opera, because of the beautiful, soft, amazing underscore you have, you've just got to power over the top of it to make it work.
Yep, I understand that. Well, how different was it then going on television and doing Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, whose idea was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Who came up with that?
Man, not sure about that idea.
You did okay, though.
Yeah, I did great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I had a great time in the end. I mean, they had to really convince me to do it, because I must admit I wasn't really a big fan for those reality shows. Having a camera follow you around 24 hours a day.
Yes.
A little bit confronting, but it was great fun. And it was a skill, that I had to learn, and you don't have much time to learn it. You have to learn a completely new dance every week in a totally different genre you had no idea about. But, I mean, the thing about it, Leigh, was you couldn't get too upset with what the judges said, because, you weren't ever going to be a ballroom dancer, really. And when they said, well, your Pass the Doble was pretty crappy, David, I went, well, fair enough. I don't think I'm ever going to do Arm again.
Look, those dance steps are probably going to help you on stage at some stage here and there.
Yeah, and I have used them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you would, yeah. David, let's talk about your show you're coming downtown with, and you're in Sale tonight with two. You're here at the Drum Theatre on Saturday next week, and the night before that at the Cardinia Cultural Centre. Last year you had a sellout at Cardinia. You did a couple of shows there. You had people come over from the States, I believe, to come and see you too. Tell us, how different is this show? What are we doing?
Well, I'm going to do slightly different repertoire. I'm going to be theme the show in a different way, because I've worked in so many different genres, whether it be, musicals, opera, even movies, which I've done as well. So I've written movie scores for Celtic, folk, and I also have a big love of the Beatles.
Right.
So we are having themed sections where I'm going to be telling stories and singing songs from all of these genres that I've been involved in, and giving it a slightly different twist than we have before.
That'll be a wonderful night.
The audiences have been really responding well thus far. And David Cameron, my colleague and brilliant accompanist friend, he's come up with some fantastic arrangements, and people are going to be surprised with a couple of little twists we do, which I don't want to give away too much. But the thing about it, Leigh, is that we strip away, the mask of being on stage. So there's no costume, there's no set, there's no design. So it just relies totally on, me and my relationship with the audience, which is, thankfully, I've had a lovely following, and they've been really responding to just kind of getting out there and being, I've just been getting out there and being myself, which is kind of dangerous, but I must admit, as a punter, when I go to the theatre, I really enjoy it when an artist...
You do have a huge following, David. People talk about you all the time in the most fondest of ways too, and you're a great guy with all of this, and the show's called An Intimate Evening with David Hobson. Tell us your favourite song from the show.
Oh, my favourite song from the show?
Do you have one?
I'm sitting next to my colleague David Cameron, and we're both going, it is, David.
Come on, David, tell us. Yeah.
Have you got one?
It's too hard.
David loves the new aria I do from an opera called La Lesiana, called E la solita storia del pastore. But I'm sure I've confused the audience by talking about that. My favourite song to sing,
I've got you.
So tough. It's really got me stumped, because every song I sing I really love.
Well, okay, put it this way. What do you open up with? What's your first number?
Do we say what our first number is, David?
Yes.
We're not allowed to give it away, apparently.
Oh, okay. I can't get your favourite.
Well, I mean, it's from a musical.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
All right.
I'll be doing things from musicals such as, Man of La Mancha, from Oliver, from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I'll be doing arias from Tosca, Puccini, Celtic songs, folk music. So
Wonderful program.
There's going to be a little bit for everyone. And
I wish you well for it.
if someone calls out for a request, we may do it.
Really?
We might.
What about some enchanted evening?
Some enchanted evening.
Mm.
If you're there and you call it out, Leigh,
You'll do it.
it happens.
Good on you. Okay. Well, I think my producer's going along, so I'll let her call that out for you. And she can say, some enchanted evening. David, I wish you well tonight down in Sale. When you come up here next weekend on Friday, you're at the Cardinia Cultural Centre, 7:30, and at the Dandenong Drum Theatre at 7:30 as well. So, David, please keep that in mind. Now, I'm
Thanks
asked.
again for your support, Leigh.
That's a pleasure, David. That's a pleasure. Try and see you on the night too, mate. Wish you well on your travels. Take care, and we'll see you next weekend.
Good on you.
Okay,
Thanks
take care,
a lot.
mate. Okay, bye-bye to you.